Good evening. This is your old pal Josh from Sipology blog coming back at you on yet another Wine Wednesday. And as we usually do, we have a review of a Michigan wine. This one is from the Lake Michigan Shore AVA, which stands for American Viticultural Area. That AVA is the largest one in Michigan, if I recall correctly, and it is located, excuse me, on the eastern shore of Lake Michigan, just up the road from Chicago. And what the lake does is it acts to moderate the temperature, keep it warm during the cold time, and keep it from getting too hot during the summers. So, without further ado, here our wine for today is from the Wincroft Marland winery in Lake Michigan Shore. Here's the label. Beautiful kind of turn of the century stained glass there. Maybe a deco, I guess you would call that. I'm not a design guy or art history major or anything like that. But it's very pretty. So Marland is two labels from the Wincroft winery. The regular Wincroft label is all single vineyard, kind of more upscale wines, and they are mostly available from the winery via their wine club or ordering on the internet. They consider themselves kind of Michigan garagistes. They're open only by appointment. They don't have tours other than by appointment. They do a lot of their business from their wine club, but what adding the Marland label has done was allowed them to kind of expand by producing wines from kind of larger areas. Like this is just Lake Michigan Shore. It's not single vineyard. It's just kind of what they could get from various places around. And the idea behind the Marland label is that it's going to be more affordable, kind of weekday kind of wines, as opposed to kind of collectors, kind of collector type wines that need to be aged for longer. Marland is kind of their more affordable line, like I just said. I purchased this bottle for $20 at the Westbourne Market Wine Shop in beautiful Berkeley, Michigan, just across Woodward Avenue from beautiful Royal Oak, Michigan. Westbourne has a nice, very well curated wine shop with some very good Michigan wine selections, including several from Marland and Wincroft. So check them out if you're in the area. I was not paid for this plug. It's just some friendly advice from you to me. Just a couple of friends talking, that sort of thing. So, let's see. This is the Marland Pinot Noir from Lake Michigan Shore. No alcohol by volume percentages listed. If you could see on the back, let's see, I think it's on the back, yeah. See right there, it says table wine. There's a loophole in the regulations that if you classify your wine as a table wine, you don't have to list the alcohol by volume percentage on the label. This is not a dig at Wincroft Marland or anybody else who takes advantage of this loophole, but I think the loophole is really dumb, and I think all alcoholic beverages should have alcohol by volume listed on the label, easy to find. More information is better. And if you're kind of doing the calculus and how much you can drink and all that kind of stuff, it can come in handy without having to guess. And also it can give you a good idea of, with wine often, higher alcohol means a drier wine. Not necessarily, but often. And so that can be another, just kind of more information on the label that makes it easier to make an informed purchase when you're at the store. So, now that that's off my chest, let's taste the wine, shall we? So this has been open for a few days now. When it first opened, it was much more kind of fruity and kind of acidic, and its tastes have shifted a little bit. I took some notes after it had been open for about, I don't know, 12 to 18 hours, something like that. So I'm going to read some of those notes, and I'm also going to just kind of have what's in front of me right now. And I will say, even though the Marland label is the one that doesn't require as much aging, I think this wine still benefited from aging. Because it's really, really good right now. And it has benefited from some time to breathe, which to me is often an indication of an age-worthy wine. You know, oxidation kind of improves it. Of course, it moves much more quickly when you've already opened the bottle. But here we go. Very, very jammy, kind of cherry jam on the nose, which, if it's ever happened to you, you know it can get a little messy. In my notes, I have the color is ruby. It seems to have gotten a little bit darker since I tasted it then, but it's still definitely in the kind of burgundy, traditional like red burgundy color range. Maybe a little on the dark side from that, but still firmly within that range. So on the nose, in my notes, I got cedar, cherry cola, a bit of alcohol. The alcohol is kind of burned off, as it were, and I get very little of that. And it's moved much more into the cherry notes now versus where it was when I took my current notes. So on the palate, again, cherry jam, white pepper, blueberry, and raspberry. So in other words, jammy, fruity, but with a little bit of spice and a little bit of acid. Now it's more rounded. It's almost like a port or cherry port, kind of in its kind of on the palate. Not that it actually tastes like those, but it shifted more towards those kind of aromas and tastes. The finish has stayed pretty much the same. I wrote down surprisingly leathery. For a wine without a lot of tannins in the nose or palate, the tannins really kind of hit you on the finish. And that's a pretty cool trick. I like that. With a little bit of acid on the end. That acid has kind of, at this point, moved a little bit more towards sweetness and jam again. But those tannins are definitely there. Still. So, in conclusion, parting words, as I normally write on the blog, this is a really good wine. The last Windcraft Marland wine I reviewed was a Riesling that was well made, but it wasn't in a style I really enjoyed. This one is really good. It's definitely this Pinot Noir. Excuse me, allergies getting a little stuffy. It's very good. It's kind of somewhere in between the typical kind of Burgundian and very ripe kind of California style, kind of Sonoma style Pinot. It's kind of in between that, which is kind of surprising for Michigan, because you'd expect it to be more towards the cool climate, which it certainly is. It definitely is. But there's a great kind of ripeness, not over ripeness, but ripeness that comes through here, and I think a lot of that is down to the quality of the grapes, skill of the winemaker, and just that 2016 was a very warm year for Michigan, and so the grapes got nice and ripe, which can be a challenge in Michigan sometimes because of the late start we get in spring. Excuse me. Anyway, this is very good. It's recommended. It's only about $20, which is a very good price for wine of this quality. I recommend buying any of their Pinot Noirs. 2017 was also a very good year, so if you can find one of those, grab one. Like I said, they carry lots of them at Westbourne Market. They also have them at Holiday Market, Red Wagon, all the usual suspects. So, Marland 2016 Pinot Noir recommended. Go out and get you some, and I hope you're all doing well. I hope your hair looks better than mine, and I hope you're staying happy and healthy. Take care, all. Peace.